Hello, Blazers. Welcome to episode 131 of UAB Green and Told. Original debut Monday, August 26th, 2024. This podcast gives us a chance to share stories from members of the UAB community. Take a listen back to past episodes of UAB's most listened to podcast at alumni.uab.edu/greenandtold on Spotify or the Apple Podcast app. And while there, leave a written review so more alums can discover us. I'm Greg Berry, a UAB alum and Director of Communications in the Office of Alumni Affairs. If you were to create a Mount Rushmore of UAB football, the debate would begin. Brian Thomas, Roddy White, Daryl Hackney, Eddie Freeman, the list and debate would go on and on. But who'd you include? After dazzling defenses as a Blazer, you definitely have to consider today's guest, Joe Webb. And as he'll share, he got offers from across the country, but wound up staying at home in Birmingham wearing the green and gold.
I saw the potential for UAB to be built up, what it is today.
And while it took him a few years to finally find himself under center at UAB, once he did, fans had a ball watching him put up video game-type performances.
I was just having fun, honestly. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed everything about it, from teammates to the coaches to being on the field competing.
Ultimately, that would lead him to a decades-long career in the NFL, something he'll tell us he never would have expected.
I mean, if I was to say, if I was in high school, college, did I know I was going to make 10 years in the NFL? Like, no. No one really knows how long they're going to play.
Dual-threat quarterbacks can be a pain in the you-know-what to defend. They're elusive, mobile, and possess the ability to sling the pigskin all around the field. In a nutshell, that's Joe Webb. Sure, he's third on UAB's all-time passing list, but he owns more 100-yard rushing games, 12, than most running backs in school history. A true hometown hero, the Birmingham native story begins as a three-port athlete from here in the Magic City.
I grew up in the west part of town, Central Park to be exact, more on West End, Ainsley area. As a kid, I have 3 older brothers, 1 older sister. So that, we used to be outside playing ball with my friends all the time, outside at the park or, in the front street. So I grew up outside a lot, playing a lot of ball.
What was it like trying to keep up with those older siblings? Because that had to have been challenging, because here you are, the little guy going, hey, I want to come along, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so they definitely made me tougher. They bossed me around a little bit because I was younger, but once I got older, maybe high school and started lifting little weights, it was hard for them to kind of boss me around. But it was definitely fun. They taught me a lot, in a younger age, so I enjoyed it.
You're a big guy. I mean, 6'4" was your playing height, and 200 and quarter whatever pounds. When did you really hit that growth spurt and start getting physical in size?
I would say probably junior, senior year of high school. Now I went from playing point guard to center overnight. So it was more so junior year. So I started to grow and lift weights and things of that nature, and really started growing to my body. So I say that was about that time when I started hitting my growth spurt.
You played 3 sports in high school: baseball, basketball, and football. At what point did you realize, you know what? I'm not bad. I'm pretty talented.
Well, I would say junior going to my senior year of high school. I had a great junior year. So my name started to ring a bell. As far as coaches coming to see me and things of that nature. College coaches. So that's when I would say, hey, I might have a chance. Getting a scholarship. So got the scholarship, and then once I got the UAB, same thing. Junior, senior year. Rode around when I was at college, NFL scouts started coming around and said, hey, you might have a chance. I had a really good junior year, and said, hey, you might have a chance. You put together another senior year. So I said, okay, cool. So, I made the most of it.
Your recruiting process started about 20 years ago. What was it like? Because it's probably nowhere what it's like today.
Ooh, coming out of high school, yeah, it was totally different. It was pretty much word of mouth. I think the only thing we had back then was rivals.com. You
Yeah.
kind of got your clips and your highlights on rivals, and your rivals really was the recruiting tool, for most college coaches. So, and then trying to go to different camps, things of that nature, try to get your face and your name out there. It was totally different. It was more so you have to make yourself presentable to the college coaches. More so now, they just pull up an app, they can watch film, on your app. And, you got Twitter, where you have all different type of social media accounts where coaches can look at now. So it's much. But it is difficult nowadays because they have the transfer portal, which affect a lot of high school kids. So they have better exposure, but more competition, as you would say.
Who are the schools that you narrowed things down to in the end before ultimately making the decision to come to UAB?
I had Purdue, I had like Memphis, to teams like Southern Miss, a lot of the Conference USA teams, who I competed against when I was at UAB, Alabama, Auburn, but I think that was going through a coaching change at the time. So a lot of those schools. So yeah, it was very SWAT schools. So, but I wanted to stay home, and I wanted home to be, I wanted the UAB to be the place for me.
Why? Why did you want to stay in Birmingham and become a Blazer?
Because I was looking at it in the long run. I was looking at it like, hey, I want to build something, and I saw the potential in I saw the potential for UAB to be built up, what it is today. I don't want to go somewhere, and then I thought about like post football. Hey, what would I want to do post football? I always come back home and be a part of something at home. So I wanted to build something in my city. That was. Then I wanted my family to come see me play. I wanted them to come watch. Not be able to travel 5 hours. 3 hours, 2 hours. So that was really my main decision why I chose UAB. But then I love UAB. I had at the time Coach Pat Sutherland. He was recruiting me at the time. Auburn guy, Heisman Trophy winner. He was coaching quarterback. So I said, hey, I want to play for this guy. So then we had Watson Brown. It was just a great staff players at the time. So that was very important.
What was it like? Because that first year you got redshirted, you didn't play. The next year in 2006, you finally got on the field, but it was the last game or towards that end of that season. What was it like riding the pine? Because up until that point, you really didn't do a whole lot of that.
I would say this: it was definitely a teaching moment for me, because when I got there, I think Darrell Hector was there, one of the great UAB quarterbacks to come through the program. So me sitting back, getting a chance to learn from him, the way he operated, the way he played the game, things of that nature. That was great for me. So when Darrell left, then I had Sam Hunt. Sam Hunt was was the quarterback in front of me. So I got a chance to actually play receiver for Sam. He was the quarterback. I was at wide receiver at the time. So that was my real chance of getting on the field. And once he left, that's when I kind of took over at quarterback.
When you're playing receiver, was it just one of those situations where I just want to get on the field, so I will do anything, so put me in and I'll run routes?
Yeah, I guess you would say that. The coaches, they saw, a lot of athletic ability in me. And and Sam having his senior year, they just wanted me to get on the field some way, somehow. So they that was and I was happy for that because it got me a chance to get on the field, get experience, and then the next 2 years I finished off at quarterback. So they definitely was creative as far as trying to put the ball in my hands.
And those 2 years that you were under center were amazing. You became the first quarterback in NCAA history to throw for 1,000 and run for 1,000 in 2 straight years, which that just shows the talent, shows your athleticism that you have. What were those years like, finally getting a chance to get out on the field and really perform?
Yeah, it was really good because, first of all, I didn't expect to, throw for 2,000, run for 1,000. I was just having fun. Honestly, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed everything about it, from teammates to the coaches to being on the field competing. And once I done it, it was a great accomplishment. A lot of people looking like, hey man, you top in the nations at quarterback and things of that nature. You got the most rushing yards in a long time. So yeah, that was great. It was great, getting a chance to get out on the field and put up those type of numbers, especially at UAB at the time, because I think that was a time before dual threat quarterbacks really, took heed into the college atmosphere. So then, the following year we had Cam Newton and you had other guys like Pat White, things of that nature. So that was kind of like the same era.
Today, you have a lot of those guys. Dak's kind of that mold, Lamar Jackson. Growing up, who did you kind of mold your game like? Who did you emulate?
I like Michael Vick. I watched him a lot. I watched Randall Cunningham, when he was with the Vikings and went over to Philly. Cordell Stewart, he was one of those guys who kind of did it all. Let me see. Well, those was the prime guys that I would watch, as far as dual threat type of guy, move around the pocket, play multiple positions. That with Cordell Stewart, play receiver, and Seneca Wattis, that was another guy who played, multiple positions. So, watching those guys, I didn't know I was going to be that guy to play multiple positions, but watching those guys and the way they used their athletic ability, I knew I had some of that in me. So, it was a pleasure watching those guys play.
After those two seasons, 2008, 2009, you put yourself in position to become a professional football player. But at that time, you weren't really sure which position, because I think you were drafted kind of as potentially a quarterback, but also maybe a receiver.
Yeah. Well, I got drafted as a receiver when I was getting ready for a pro day combine. It was the same type of deal, trying to figure out where to put him. Where is he going to play? I was, I talked to some scout, I ran into, he said, man, when you was coming out, man, we just didn't know what to do with you. We didn't know where to put you. So got drafted as a receiver. Then I went to Rick Dominic camp and they put me at quarterback. Let me see what you do at quarterback. I got back there, started throwing the ball around. I said, oh, baby, might have put you at quarterback. So switched me back to quarterback and, I was there for 3 years in Minnesota doing the quarterback. Then my last year in Minnesota, they did me on kick return, special team stuff. And then it kind of trickled on throughout my career, just kept moving around, putting me in different positions. And I just took pride in it. And, it made the best of my career. I ended up having 11 years professional ball. So I definitely enjoyed it.
I want to get to the professional side of things, but first, the college stats that you put up puts you as one of the all-time greats at UAB. When you enrolled, when you came in, did you ever think that was possible, that you'd be one of the best athletes to come out of the Blazers?
Well, I always wanted to be the best. Whatever you do, you want to be the best at it. Whether it's football, whether it's business world, whatever it is. And even now, coaching, I want to be the best at it. So, but at that time, yes, that I worked hard every day. I pushed my teammates to work hard, to be the best. So that was a goal of mine, to be the best person I could be, the best player I could be. And, it shows for itself. So, I definitely enjoyed my time there. I'm definitely glad that I provided great, great work ethic, I guess you would say. So that was something that I was able to provide, and it was great.
Was there a moment at UAB that you wish you could take back?
I would say maybe my senior year. We was like one game away from a bowl game, so that's something I was, I wanted to go to. I was not able to go to a bowl game my career at UAB, so I wanted to do that. So that's the only thing I regret, from, that I could take back, if I would go back to UAB and play again.
You mentioned collegiately you were teammates with Darrell Hackney, one of the all-time great quarterbacks in program history, as well as Sam Hunt, who now has ventured off to different things. When you went into the NFL, you were under one of the greats in Minnesota that rookie year with Brett Favre. What was it like working with him, and what kind of knowledge did he instill to you?
when I first walked in, first thing he said was, "Hey man, you was the guy that beat up on my Southern Miss team." So he kind of knew who I was when I walked in. But he taught me so much, how to study film, how to practice, just having a routine, every day, getting up, having a good routine every day, take care of your body, eating well, things of that nature. But he really taught me a lot about the small details in the game of football. When he got injured towards the end of the year and I had to play, he was be on the sideline helping me. Hey, I see this, I see that. You can take advantage of this coverage and things of that nature. So he really helped me a lot in my early years of playing ball.
Everybody says that the speed of the game is a big difference between college and pros. What other differences are there that kind of maybe surprised you as, an NFL player?
More so the speed of the game. Just adjusting to that. That's one of the first things that you notice. First day of practice. How much ground these guys covered. It's a game of inches. You're not just going to run and then reverse the field and go the other way. You have to be precise in how you run your routes or where you passing the ball, things of that nature. So definitely the speed of the game changed. With the different levels on the different football experience.
Greatest player you ever played with in the NFL?
Greatest player. That's a lot. That's hard. Let me see. I would say I go to the Minnesota days. I say that the days where Brett Favre, then we had Randy Moss to come aboard, and he came over from the Patriots. Jerry Allen, the running back Adrian Peterson. That was a great time. All those guys pretty much in their prime. So that was I would say that was probably. Then you mentioned Charlotte. As Charlotte played with Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly at linebacker. We went to the Super Bowl. That team. It's hard to say, one player, but I love all my teammates. And we still talk and we still, reach out to each other to this day.
As a kid that went to Winona High School to UAB, did you ever think you'd have a 10-plus year NFL career?
No one's know. You don't know nothing. You don't know the future. I just was happy that I made it. The fact that I'm happy that I made it, I got there. It was a dream. I made it. It was a blessing. But from as soon as you made it, it's work you have to put in. If I was to say, if I was in high school, college, that I know I was gonna make 10 years in the NFL, like no. No one really knows how long they're gonna play. But I think just cherish every moment that you have, and enjoy it.
Playing wise in the NFL, you got in and you had receptions, you had touchdowns, you threw them, you caught them. What was the biggest challenge of not being able to be an everyday player?
Just encouraging your teammates, just not letting them see you down and in the dumps because you're not playing. Just letting them see you, feed off that energy, giving them, encouraging words, things of that nature, while you're not playing. Because you'll want the same for if you were playing and you come to the sideline, you'll want, your teammates to lift you up. So, that was one of the biggest thing not playing for me that I felt like I could do, to help my teammates and help us win games, just to, bring the energy.
Do you think that's going to help you as a head coach at Jackson-Olin?
No doubt. The kids, they feed off the coach. So they see the coach out there, high energy, the passion for the game. They go have high energy, passion for the game. So, yes, sir, no doubt.
Any regrets professionally that you have?
Losing the Super Bowl. That's the only thing. So, any regrets, that would be it, But, things happen for a reason. And like I said, I enjoyed everything that came with it. And it was a blessing.
That's Joe Webb, a 2009 graduate of the College of Arts and Sciences, where he earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. After spending more than a decade in the NFL, Joe's back in Birmingham, where he was named head football coach at Jackson-Olin High School earlier this year. As one of the all-time legends of UAB football, Joe has a great idea of what it means to be a Blazer.
Everything, from me being here in Birmingham, city of Birmingham, it's here in my hometown. Blazer, is represent Birmingham. just don't count sports. You count the hospitals. People go to the hospitals, and just the people. The people that work at UAB. They keep the university going. So I mean, everything about UAB, I believe. My blood bleeds green and gold. So I mean, I love UAB, and I'm always be around and be there to support to my last day here.
Be sure to check out past episodes of the UAB Green and Told podcast. Listen in at alumni.uab.edu/greenandtold. Have a story to share or know someone who does? Email greenandtold@uab.edu. Finally, be sure to follow us on social media. Just search UAB Alumni on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for listening, and until next time, go Blazers.